Hi, this is Kevin Butler, the sales artist. I hope you'll take a few minutes and visit our website, www.thesalesartist.com. You'll find some very important and valuable information that will help you close more sales, earn more money, and become a much better salesperson. I guarantee it. In this video, I want to quickly talk about a very common mistake retail salespeople make when approaching a prospect. It doesn't matter where it may be. I mean, you could be a salesperson in a retail store, in a car lot, at a store in the mall. It really doesn't matter. We see this mistake all the time, and it happens in every retail situation imaginable. Let me paint the picture for you. Okay, let's assume you're a salesperson in a retail store, and you notice a potential customer browsing around. They're looking at your products, so naturally you assume, hey, there's a potential customer. If you're like most retail salespeople, you'll walk directly up to the prospect and with a big smile ask, "Can I help you?" Or you'll ask something along those lines. You try your best to come across as a nice, friendly salesperson, right? Right. But the problem is that you have just committed a couple of mistakes that can very easily and quite frequently cost you the sale. That's right. Within the first 10 seconds of the interaction with the prospect, you've probably already blown it. Let me explain two mistakes that were just illustrated and occur every single day. The first mistake is how the prospect was approached. The way you walk up to a prospect will influence how the prospect will react to you. It influences whether you are perceived as a friend or foe. You should never approach a prospect directly from the front or directly from the rear. An approach directly from the front or rear is considered threatening. You will be perceived as a threat. Even though we are highly evolved, we still have the fight or flight instinct within us. We still respond emotionally to perceived threats, and that emotional response is negative. So we want to make sure that the prospect never views us as a threat. We want to make sure that we never trigger that fight or flight emotional response. If at all possible, we want to approach the prospect from the front, but at a slight angle. We want to approach from the front because we want to be within the prospect's field of view. We want them to see us coming. We don't want to sneak up on them. That again would be a threatening approach. Remember that predators usually strike their prey by sneaking up. So we don't want to sneak up on our prospect. We want them to see us coming. But we want to approach from a slight angle. A direct approach is threatening because some predators will use speed to capture their prey. And the best way to conserve speed is to attack head on. Approaching directly from the front makes the prospect feel boxed in. You're headed straight at them, and there's going to be a collision if they don't get out of the way. Have you ever noticed that if you walk directly towards someone, they will tend to step to one side long before you ever get near them? That's a reaction to that feeling of imminent danger because of the way that you are approaching. No one likes to be approached directly from the front. So the most effective way to approach a prospect so that he doesn't feel threatened is to approach from the front but at a slight angle. And finally, don't approach too fast. Remember, human behavior is the product of an emotional response. We want to avoid being perceived as a threat. We don't want to trigger the negative emotions that arise when there is a perceived threat. Moving quickly to approach someone is very similar to a predator using speed to strike at its prey. So if you briskly walk up to a prospect, they can emotionally perceive you as a threat, and they will react accordingly. Instead, make your approach at a very casual speed. Do it a little bit slower than you naturally walk. You want to give the subtle impression that you're in no hurry at all. If you approach from the front at a slight angle and with casual speed, you will avoid the mistake of being perceived as a threat to your prospect. I'm going to give you another free technique that may help in this area. One of the tactics that I suggest, if you're in a retail situation where you can do this, is to approach a nearby item rather than the prospect. For example, let's imagine that, let's say you're a cosmetic salesperson and a prospect is looking over your skincare products. Now let's say that next to your skincare products are your lipsticks. Well, the idea is that you walk over and approach the lipsticks rather than the prospect. The reason this works is that the prospect will see you are moving in a line to something other than the prospect. From the prospect's point of view, you are walking over to the lipsticks, not the prospect, and this is less threatening than if you were walking in a line directly to the prospect. So the way you apply this tactic is to simply pick an object that is, let's say, 3 or 4 feet to the side of the prospect and begin walking toward that item. As you approach it, you simply turn slightly to the prospect and open him or her. At the moment of opening the prospect, you haven't approached, nor are you directly facing the prospect. This is the optimal body language position to open a prospect. I hope you enjoyed this video and discovered 1 or 2 tips that you can use to help increase your sales. Again, I invite you to visit my website, www.thesalesartist.com. You'll find some amazing information that is guaranteed to take your sales and your income to the next level. So take a few minutes and check it out. I wish you good luck and great success.